All right, we've got some full circle news for you. The broadcast crew for the 49ers and the Cardinals has officially been announced, and Tom Brady is going to call his first 49ers game over the air on Sunday. Tom Brady, who lost to Brock Purdy in his final season. This is iconic at this point. Tom Brady had never lost to a rookie, but then he lost in his final NFL season to a rookie, Brock Purdy, making his first career start. And now on Sunday, Tom Brady is going to be in the Fox broadcast booth calling 49ers, Cardinals. And I think it's going to be fascinating stuff because we're going to get to hear from Brady himself in real time as Brock Purdy is playing. Obviously, Brady's going to have good takes about Brock Purdy, unlike a large subset of social media. But I think that subset of social media is growing smaller and smaller and smaller with what Brock Purdy continues to consistently put out on tape. I talked a little bit about the 49ers Big Three in a little video that I made for Lunch with Lombardi just a few minutes ago. So why don't we talk about the 49ers Big Three? Take a trip to San Francisco's Coal Valley. San Francisco, it's the first day of October. It's going to be 90 degrees. Good time to be in the city. Every time, this time of the year, this is what happens. Anyway, we got to talk very quickly about the trio at the top of the 49ers offense, which is surging back toward the top spot in efficiency. Brock Purdy, 7th round pick. Juwan Jennings, 7th round pick. Jordan Mason, undrafted free agent. I think that the symbolism here is super cool because these guys are all ranking amongst the top 2 at their respective positions in efficiency already at this point. And the 49ers did have some growing pains, I think, without Christian McCaffrey against the Vikings. But these guys are at the very top of the league, yet they weren't top draft picks. And it speaks to how the 49ers have had so much success over the past several seasons. They haven't hit on every single first-round draft pick, but guess what? There is no team that's hit on all of its first-round draft picks. But the contenders, the consistent contenders, and the pretenders are separated by the ability to scout and integrate players from lower rounds at a higher level than the competition. And the 49ers have certainly done that. And I think that Purdy, Jennings, and Jordan Mason are very, very emblematic of that success. Zazie, the meal here in Coal Valley, some of the best Benedicts in the city, one of the best brunches in San Francisco. Go ahead and check it out. Everybody have a great day. It's Tuesday. All right, that's the quick look in the Coal Valley. We'll post that as a one-off a little bit later. I was out at breakfast, had a shout out to Zazie. Those are the best Benedicts in San Francisco. Coal Valley, cool little pocket of the city. Good one to visit, especially on a nice sunny day like today. It's going to be close to 90 in San Francisco. And normally there's a super long line at Zazie because people like to go to brunch on the weekends. So the hack is, if you can do it, to go on Tuesday, like I just did. I have to be in the office today. I'm going to the San Francisco Standard's office at 2:30. We've got a live broadcast, me and Tim Kawakami. So be sure to tune into that. We might cross stream it onto my channel as well if we're able to technically set that up. But if not, maybe we'll get a recording and we'll go ahead and post it up here. A nice little celebration of the new job for both me and Tim coming a little bit later this afternoon. Anyway, I talked about lower round draft picks. That's obviously what Brock Purdy is, what Juwan Jennings is. Jordan Mason was an undrafted free agent. This guy right here was drafted in the 6th round. Not the one on the left, not Purdy, whose jersey you can see, but Brady on the right was drafted in the 6th round. So obviously finding the talent at the quarterback position is an inexact science, or at least it's a science that teams have not yet mastered. Otherwise, they wouldn't have passed over Brock Purdy and Tom Brady so many times. So much of the success at the quarterback position comes from the head, comes from the cerebral aspect of the football game, what's in between the ears. Both Brady and Brock Purdy are obviously masters of this. They see the field, They can process things in real time, and then they can execute the things that they see physically, which obviously is a prerequisite for doing it to the quarterback position. But I don't think that the combine necessarily measures the physical requirements of the quarterback position efficiently. And I think that's what gets a lot of people tripped up. A lot of people worship the combine or they worship the draft. And by extension, they worship the NFL combine. It's ironic, though, because Brock Purdy excelled in one metric that probably matters more than anything else at the NFL combine, and that was the 10-yard split. It's part of the 40-yard dash. Faster 10-yard split than Christian McCaffrey, faster 10-yard split than Deebo Samuel. If Lamar Jackson had run the 40-yard dash, then the 10-yard split wouldn't be all too much faster than Brock Purdy's either, because Purdy's is in the 95th percentile of quarterbacks as far as his 10-yard split performance. So with that level of burst, it's impossible to be much faster than Brock Purdy in the first few steps. And that is the one physical measurement that I think might even correlate directly with how well a quarterback can evade pressure and move around in the pocket. And one thing about Tom Brady, I remember, I don't think the 49ers got a sack in this game. They killed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their defense smothered Tom Brady. They got 2 interceptions from Dre Greenlaw in that football game. He even had Tom Brady sign one of the footballs afterward. I don't know if this picture was taken before or after. Dre Greenlaw was like a little kid, ran up to Tom Brady, asked for an autograph. But try as they might, the 49ers really struggled to get to Brady for a sack in this game. And obviously so much of it was Brady's release time. He had an amazingly quick release. But even as an old man playing the quarterback position, Tom Brady was able to manipulate the pocket with quick movements. And that's, Brock Purdy, his movements aren't as subtle as Tom Brady's. He's still not that kind of manipulator of the pocket. Brock Purdy is more of a scrambler. He can actually get out. He can run. It reminds us a lot of prime Russell Wilson right now with his ability to move behind the line of scrimmage. But he's getting better and better at the nuanced movements of the pocket. And the more that he can talk to Tom Brady, the more Brady film he can watch and become even more comfortable within the confines of the pocket without escaping it, just with some of those subtle movements that can get out of dodge for a sack. Well, if Brock Purdy can master that, then he can take his quarterbacking up to another level beyond the one that we've already seen. By the way, speaking of that, what we're seeing from Purdy right now is absolutely special. Spoke of the San Francisco Standard. Well, I'm going into the office today. We're going to do the big live event at 2:30 Pacific. But this is the article from yesterday. I graded the entire 49ers team, but Brock Purdy has completely changed the 49ers offense with what he's doing this year. Defenses are showing him so much respect. They're dropping so many men into coverage. 49ers have seen these 8-man coverages at an extremely high rate this year. The defenses are essentially giving up good efficiency. They're saying, hey, Brock Purdy's so good that we'll give him something. We just can't allow him to completely roast and burn us. And unfortunately for the Patriots, even though they gave up good efficiency, Brock Purdy still decided to throw downfield against some of these 8-man coverages, and he still won downfield. So that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a quarterback who's near the top of the league in efficiency and near the top of the league, at the top of the league in deep passing yardage, 292 deep passing yards, despite the fact that defenses are giving him a ton of respect. Where something really special is brewing in San Francisco, has been brewing since 2022, since this day, even the week before that against Miami. But this is Brock Purdy's first career start. If you could beat Tom Brady in your first career start, that was something that no rookie had ever done before. Well, things probably are looking in a good direction. And ever since then, Purdy's gotten even better to the point where we're talking about him completely changing the 49ers offense at this point. It's about time that so many people have gotten on board. And I'm not going to be shy to say that I was the first to point all of this stuff out, including the 10-yard split. And, I'll take the arrows. There were a lot of arrows that came my way. But when Brock Purdy himself is now talking about the 10-yard split, that may or may not have been influenced by some of our conversations in the 49ers locker room. But when we have Brock Purdy himself talking about this, then I think that it's validated. He understands what his strengths are. We've understood what his strengths are. It doesn't take a lot. It takes just a little bit of football knowledge and maybe some diligence and actually watching Brock Purdy play to realize that this is a special talent that's going to be competing for NFL MVP awards as long as he's healthy, regardless of who he has around him. That's what Brady was all about, right? Tom was one of those QBs who was able to overcome the situation. And I think we've seen that from Brock Purdy as well, to deliver at a level that is top 3, even despite the fact that there's been some tumultuous happenings around him in the 49ers offense. So it is fitting that Tom Brady is going to call the 49ers next game. Be sure to tune in, 2:30, the Standard. We're going to be up in the office of the San Francisco Standard. We're going to have our live event. It's going to be Tim Kawakami and me. And of course, be sure to sign up for this. Brock Purdy has completely changed the 49ers offense. Put in the link in the chat right now. You go ahead and check that out, but it is up on my Twitter. So you can see that as well. Here you go. Click on that, sign up. It's free on the email. I think it's a good week to sign up for this because the GOAT himself, alongside Montana, by the way, we got Brady right here, one of the GOATs. The other one from a different era, Joe Montana, right above my right shoulder. You could see him up on the wall. It's the quarterback poster that I have. Good thing I kept it up. I was thinking about swapping out the posters here since we're in a new month. Probably still will. Maybe Montana will move over to that side. We got to get Jack in here to help measure things out. Jack, he helps a ton. Shout out to Jack. Hopefully he's watching. Jack was in Atlanta this weekend because he had the Stanford Clemson game. So then he was in Atlanta on Sunday and he went to a great 49ers bar there. Gonna have to play some footage. Shout out to the 49ers bar in Atlanta. Yeah, he had some awesome footage from the win over the Patriots from the 49ers bar in the ATL. Anyway, we've got Montana on one side and we've got Purdy and Tom Brady on the other. I think that's a good way to finish this show. Lunch with Lombardi. We'll talk with everybody soon.